How can education foster environmental and spiritual well-being?
The earth will survive, maybe at much higher degrees than we humans can survive. But our message is for the evolution of humans into the future in terms of what we do on earth, and to help the earth, help humanity. The earth, as we understand, will survive. There are planets which prosper in its own structure, in its own energies, in thousands of degrees of heat, much more than Earth. There are planets which survive, evolve, and have a good sense along with the universe in minus thousands of degrees. But we must understand the earth is the gift of the God of our faiths, the gift of the universal energies of life, exclusively for the life species on earth, and very exclusively for humanity, because we are connected with the source code of life through creativity. Let's replenish our earth.
How can education foster environmental and spiritual well-being?
The earth we live in is moving around the sun. It's within the structure of space and within our solar system. And why do we call the earth and the solar system? Why is it named the earth and the solar system? It is because the earth functions with all of the energies of the universe to keep it within its orbit. Just imagine the most heaviest of ball. You throw it up into space to come crashing down because of gravity. But the earth, with all of its weight, with trillions and trillions of tons of weight, which holds all of the buildings on the earth, all the minerals, the greatest of planet for humans, is balancing within the spatial system. It has an orbit of its own, and it moves around the orbit of the sun. And that is why we call it the solar system, because there are so many energies working to keep the earth within the orbit. And the earth is within the orbit for millions of years. In the same way, the earth is being nourished by the universal energies to provide us with life. And the basics of life is the sun's energy, which creates photosynthesis, creates life in terms of giving us food sources, the pollination of the flowers, the sunlight which caresses the trees, the plants, the fruit-bearing trees, the vegetables, the cultivation of cereals, the basics of food products. The sunlight is the main source of life on earth. And through sunlight, oxygen and water is enhanced, it's created. Because of sunlight, the trees convert carbon dioxide to oxygen. And we have oxygen. And oxygen is the basic system of life for most living species on earth. And the sunlight is the main source of water for humans. Because of sunlight, there is the rotation of seasons. There is rainfall from different areas of the earth. The sun is the primary source of life for the earth, enhancing other species of life, from the plant life, from the tree life, giving us oxygen, giving us sources of water. And the moment we understand that we are within the prism of the universe, the energy of the universe which balances our own earth, which we are in, Just imagine you are sitting right now, or walking right now, or driving right now. The earth is moving around the planetary system, around the sun, within this orbit. We are not conscious about it, and it's balancing within the orbit. The heaviest of heavy structure within the solar system is not the earth. There are so many different other planets, but still the earth moves with the energies and the energy of the universe as a whole, which sustains the earth. And the earth in turn is a blessing for humans, a gift from all of our faiths. And once we start to respect the basic systems of life, we have a future. Let's replenish our earth. Let us.
How can education foster environmental and spiritual well-being?
Let us not fall prey to all of the information that is being fed to us on the television, social media, news, and any kind of information which is being projected at us. We have talked about a micro view and a macro view. Now let's look into the earth. Let's look into the history of the earth. Let's look into the history of 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, maybe 1,000,000 years. And let us get a kind of direction towards our life. If you were in space looking at earth, you will see the whole of the earth. You will see the energies of the earth. You will see the clouds. You will see the seasons. You will see the extreme weather patterns. You will see the geography of the earth. You will see the rivers. You will see the lakes. You will see the mountains and the entire stretch of the earth. Now, once you zoom in from space and come into the area which you live, it is a very micro view. And then most of the information which is being fed to us is within that micro view of our lives. Then we see a lot of drama on television or serials on television. Most of those serials are trying to get things as fast as possible through devious ways. Now just again project back into space and see the earth as a whole, and you watching all of these serials, we watching these serials, watching these programs about carnal self, about desires, about trying to get in the fastest possible way from one another. What does it mean to your vision from space? What does it mean to the macro vision of the earth? When you're looking from space, you see the energies of the earth which sustain life. You see the forests. You see the rivers. You see the mountains. And then once you zoom and come back to your micro life, it's all about the micro view within ourselves. We forget that we are living within an earth which is abound with the energies of life. The very reason that we are living is because of the oxygen, because of the forests, the rains, the seasons, and that is the greatest energy which we can derive, the most powerful source of creation which is with us. We forget that kind of source of energy which is all around us, and then go back to the carnal micro view of our lives, about our bodies, just like the system of thinking maybe 50,000 or 100,000 years ago, before we were actual humans. About 50,000 years ago, we were one with the animals, and then it was all about the micro view. Now we know that we are humans, and we have a view along with the energies of the earth. We are one with the energies of life, the creative force of creation. In small, minute quantities, we can experience that kind of a view from space. We're not contained within the shelf of the human body. The life that is given to us in a micro view would be an all-encompassing force once we move away from the micro self and into the macro picture of the universe, macro picture of our earth, by which the energies of life is all around us, the oxygen, the water, the energy systems of our earth, the gravity, the clouds. Just imagine you're watching from space. Then, on a micro view from your body, you will move into the space of the universal energies. You'll be one with the energies of the universe which sustains life. And that is the greatest force to bless your life on earth. And it's the most wisest, smartest, and the only thing that you should do as a human. But then again, because to some extent our minds are going back into 50,000 years of evolution when we were no longer humans. We were one with those animals because of our carnal selves. Today we understand that the only reason that we are human is because we are one with the eternal force of life of our earth. In small, minute quantities, we are connected to the source code of life. Let's replenish our earth. We must understand that once we move away from the micro view of ourselves alone, we are moving into the greatest energy source of not just our earth, of the universe. The view from space which sustains all life is that energy which we are drawing into. Let us not be foolish within a human body and a human mind which is connected to the eternal source of creation. The view from space of our earth and all of the energy systems which sustains life must be the meaning of a life of our lives on earth. And once we move from the micro view into the macro picture of the energies of the earth, we are one with the all-encompassing force of life. Let's replenish our earth.
How can education foster environmental and spiritual well-being?
When we are talking about doing things in the present for the future children of the earth, the future unborn generations, we are tapping into that very energy source of the earth, of our universe, which is not about ourselves, but into the macro picture of the energies of life, which is sustaining our earth. The view from space, by which you see the clouds, the rains, the seasons, the rivers, the sea, the aqua life, the different energies of the earth which sustain life, and the dark energies which are being destroyed to be one with the energies of life. You see it from space, and that is the very energy that we are working on in our present. When you're working for the unborn generations into the future, we are tapping into that very eternal energy of our universe, of our earth. And when we are working in the present with our human bodies and the soul within us, which is a part of the eternal force of creation, we would be having a place in the yesterday, today and tomorrow, because we are one with the energies of life, sustaining forces of our earth. We see thousands of different planets. They do not have life of humans or any other kind of life systems, but still those planets thrive in the different energy systems. The planets work in a synchronization, but the earth is the absolute gift of the eternal force of creation for us humans as well as all other life forms on earth, so that life blooms into goodness of the energy sources which we see all around us, which sustain our life. And once we strengthen those forces in our present for the future, that is the only meaning which we can draw in our lives. And our lives on earth at present are blessed, not because someone is blessing us. We are moving into the source of creation. We are moving into the energy of goodness. And our life can be only meaningful if we are working with the source code of life. Let's replenish our earth.
How can countries unite for global health improvements?
Why do we call a desert as a desert? Why do we call a valley as a valley? Why do we call different areas of the earth as habitable and inhabitable? One of the primary reasons why we segregate different lands is because of the resource of water. And what is water? Water is oxygen and hydrogen, which makes the basic sense of every being on earth. We do not have to go back to the knowledge that our bodies are 60% to 65% water. Our brains are nearly 96% water. So it is oxygen and hydrogen. Now you might go into a desert. The reason why it is a desert is that water has not irrigated the lands for many years, maybe tens and 50 years, 100 years and much more. Rains have not come at the right sequence, in the right seasons. And that's what makes deserts. Now what is a valley? A valley usually has a lot of greenery. It has lots of water sources, stream flowing. And it is usually between different hills. And it's that central part of the hill where the water flows, bringing in minerals from different areas of the hills. And then humans inhabit valleys. And the essence of a valley is the best source of water and the minerals. Now you go behind any kind of cultivation on earth. The essence of the soil is water nourishment and the biological sources of the soil. The micro-life within the soil which makes the soil fertile. The organic life within the soil which is again nourished by water. You go beside the seashore. You find coconut trees growing in full bloom. And the coconut tree is one of the most sought after fruits, as we call it, but a coconut is a coconut. It is so useful that the outer shell, the coir, is going to be very useful for different purposes. The inner shell and the copra within the coconut is used for the best coconut oil, which is, as per the recent scientific understanding, one of the best oils. Although it has certain amounts of fat, it is healthy fat. It has properties which help humans in terms of being very resourceful. The coconut gives a complete life form on its own to humans. The outer shell, the inner shell, the copra, the water, and the coconut tree derives its life from water. The water from the sea percolates down and the water is filtered, and the coconut tree goes deep down its roots and takes those fresh water and brings it into the coconut trees. And as a tender coconut, when it's consumed, it's one of the most nourishing drinks that a person can have on earth. Now as we see, water is the source of life of every being on earth. And we term land areas on earth as fertile or infertile, desert or valleys, or the most beautiful and pristine of places on earth. has.
How can countries unite for global health improvements?
The basic source of life, which is water and high quality oxygen. Now you go to different countries of the world. We appreciate the landscape. We appreciate the flowering trees. We appreciate the green meadows. And the source of water in most of the developed countries are very pure, that in the essence that you can drink tap water, and they have different areas across most of the developed countries where you can have open tap water in the best places on earth. They have given respect for the basic source of life, and that's what led to the development of the country. Most of the developed countries, especially in Europe, have an even balance of nature as well as development. You will find factories in the best of landscaped areas, in the best of natural setting, along with the energies of the earth which sustain life. Now, once we give importance to the basic source of life, it will lead to an aura of development, because we are giving importance to the most important foundation of life. The best quality of water should be available to the citizens. The best quality of oxygen should be available to the citizens of a country. The moment a country starts to be clean by having the best quality of water, the best quality of air, and the surroundings within the country, and the best of road and infrastructure systems which complement it, it will naturally move into a high degree of development, because it's the basic foundation of life of any country. And also we are doing a very important basic foundational work for the future of our children and the unborn generations. Let's replenish our earth. The primary force of your life must be a purpose. And as a human, we must understand that we cannot be a saint. No human on earth can be a saint. No human can be only on the good side. A person who is worth the respect of life is one who has the good and the bad side. And as we said, the good side is to move along with the energies of the earth and work for the future in the present, the future unborn generations in the present, and thereby our lives are blessed. That's a fact. And the bad side is to work like just any other nation who is very strong. We call a nation who is strong and respected, who is with the energies of the earth, if they have a strong defense force. And the weapons within a country are that defense who will strike malicious energies if they cross the line. And that should be the same case with us humans on an individual level. Your bad side is for the protection of the energy systems of the earth, of your own family, for the future of your children. You will work against vermin energies. So, a person on earth, an individual, a human, has the good and the bad side. But the way we use the energies within a human is what counts in life. Another important factor is when you're working with a purpose, you can get lost in life. But if that purpose is very clear within your soul, within your subconscious, no matter if you falter from the very road of your purpose in life to work with the energies of the earth to sustain life, you will come back just like a tightrope walker, as we mentioned, who might be doing a practice and fall down. But you might go haywire in terms of the pleasures of life, which might be about the carnal self. But once you have a clear vision, the macro vision of your purpose of your life on earth, your purpose of your life within the human body with all of the energy systems of the earth, the view.
How can countries unite for global health improvements?
Space of the earth and all of the energy systems which sustain life will be that factor of your life. You will move away from your carnal self and again into the spiritual realm of working with the source code of life. In the present and for the future, all of our discoveries, all of our inventions, the supercomputers, quantum computers, and also the human biological computers, which will evolve in terms of the replication of the cell systems within the human biological body or any other form of life, will be the future of science. And through these knowledge and deep learning, we will move with the source code of life. Because we have a macro view. We moved out of our micro carnal self and moved into the energies of life, the life-sustaining forces, which has predated humans, which has been sustaining life on earth. And the very reason that we are humans as of now will be established within our subconscious. We will move with the creative energies of life, with all of our knowledge systems into the future. Let's replenish our earth. We know that the sun is everything about life on our earth. Without the sun, no life exists. And we do not have to go into any kind of explanation about it. Now, around 10,000 years back, people wanted to explore the sun. So there was a very wise man who studied the sun. And thousands of years back, he drew graphs of the sun and he started to envision how the sun helped the earth. And his vision thousands of years ago was the sun gave him light. The sun gave him the food. Through photosynthesis, as we understand now, the plants evolve, trees evolve. There is fruits, there is produce of vegetables, and every life system on earth survives. The rains, the rivers, the plant species, the animal species, all is dependent on the sun, and it's the very essence of life. He understood that life and the sun was one and in sync on earth. So he drew an art form of those times by which he linked the earth and the sun and the life systems as the only source of life. And his art was presented to the emperor. Now when the emperor looked at the sun and the entire artwork which he had presented, it does not mean much to him, because his mind was focused on acquiring more for his kingdom in terms of his carnal self. But once this image was given to him, and the wise man explained to the emperor of the time that the sun is the only part of his kingdom that he should dwell upon. He should forget about everything about his kingdom, about acquiring anything more. And he told him that he to focus on the artwork and focus only on the sun. Now the emperor of the time was taken aback. He thought that this man, who was a wise man, who was called the wisest of men, was trying to fool him. He asked this wise man, what the hell? Why do you want me to focus on the sun? I'm running the kingdom. I'm running nearly 25% of the earth, as we know today. And you're telling me to focus on the sun. Now, the wise man again explained to him in very clear detail as to why he gave him the painting and the focus was on the sun. He told him that
How can countries unite for global health improvements?
The very essence of us breathing, the emperor breathing, all of us breathing was because of the sun. He told him that the plants gave the oxygen. The trees bore fruits because of the sun. He told him that the rains, the seasons, the rivers, all depended on the sun. And as he was maintaining 25% of the earth, if he did not give reverence to the sun, then the empire would collapse. And he told him very straight to the king, the emperor, he was a visionary, he was prophetic. And also his words had much more meaning than just focusing on the sun. It meant that the emperor focused on the life-giving energies of the earth. The sun was the primary source of life for his kingdom. The sun was the primary source of all the energies of life. And the first and foremost part, when he concentrated on the energies of life of our earth, the gift of all of our faiths, he would start to flourish. He would come into the right kind of knowledge to maintain his kingdom much better. He will treat the forests, the plants, the architecture along with the source code of life. He would build the best of road systems along with the best of structures and the highways with flowering plants and trees which gave comfort to the travelers. He would see that most of the subjects of his kingdom respected the very source of life for which they live. And by doing so, he would be the best emperor who had lived on earth during his time. The emperor was taken back by the wise man. And he told him that this is the first time in my life that I have come across such a deep thinking, and you have given me that vision. And he gave him vast areas of his empire to manage, because that was the time of nirvana, a kind of knowledge which the king got to respect the very reason that he lived, the very reason that he breathed life. Once he gave respect to the oxygen and all of the life systems, which included the water, the gravity, the rains, the seasons, which was the source of life in the sun, but also from the God of the faith, which was much more than just the energy system. He knew that his kingdom will flourish into the future if he was present also. Even if he was no more, people within his kingdom will remember him because he worked with the source code of life. His generations continued because he had given a clear direction for his offspring to manage the kingdom with the source code of creation, the source code of life. This must be the only lesson that we should have in today's world also. Once we work with the source code of our very oxygen and the source code of our life in terms of the technologies of the future, we are working in the present for the unborn, and we are being blessed in the present because we are with the energy of creation. Let's replenish our earth.
In a world that's spinning, every heart beats strong. No matter where you're from, it's where we all belong, with different colors and faiths that shine bright. Together we can rise through the darkness into light. From the mountains to the valleys, the oceans to the skies, we're the keepers of this planet. Let's open up our eyes. Replenish our earth, it's a call for all. No matter your tradition, we can stand tall. For our children's future, we must unite in every single heartbeat. Let's make it right. Christian, Muslim, Hindu, hear the voices blend. Judaism, Buddhism, it's our hands we lend. From the east to the west, let's cherish this home. With each step we take, it's together we roam. In every prayer whispered and every song sung, we're weaving a story that's just begun. Replenish our earth, it's a call for all. No matter your tradition, we can stand tall. For our children's future, we must unite in every single heartbeat. Let's make it right. So plant the seeds of kindness, let them grow wide. Nurturing the planet, let love be our guide. With respect for each other and the gifts we share, together we can flourish. Together we care. Replenish our earth, it's a call for all. No matter your tradition, we can stand tall. For our children's future, we must unite in every single heartbeat. Let's make it right.